Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're here this morning. Got a big show lined up, but first our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. Looking at, again, I mentioned this yesterday, the low's going to be 77. I always start off with high, but the low's going to be 77, and that's been for 5 days in a row. High's going to be around 88 to 90. So, again, just be aware of these thunderstorms that pop up so fast. I mentioned again on a regular basis, these summer storms can be really scary. That wind shear when it comes in off in front of these thunderstorms can really produce a lot of strong winds and some lightning. Water temperature is at 82 degrees. Let's take a look at our tides brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery right here at 23rd Street. Today's July the 9th, Thursday. We're, again, like I said, we're in neap tides today, but starting tomorrow now, we're going to be pretty strong and especially Saturday and all of next week, going to be some really strong tides. The high tide this morning is at 5:26 and a low tide at 3:28. So it's going to be a low tide a little bit earlier than we've had in the past. So a low tide at 3:28 this afternoon. Marine forecast south-southwest at 5 to 10. River readings are very similar to yesterday, not much movement, and we'll talk about it. I'll give you a better river reading on Friday's fishing forecast as to what's going to happen this weekend. But rivers are in good shape. I'm getting some good reports from the river. Just got off the phone with Carrie at the pier. Carrie, usually would talk to him on the phone and give a report as exactly what's going on, but he said his throat was scratchy, so he didn't feel like talking on the phone. So I'm going to just repeat. I just wrote down what he said is going on at the pier this week. He said the king bite is really strong. The Spanish bite is strong. Catching a lot of ladyfish. They're catching redfish. And some really good luck on some sharks. Some nice sharks being caught, some tarpon have been caught, and 2 sailfish have been hooked. Now the tarpon, when I say been caught, they've actually been hooked and got some jumps out of them. So the pier is red hot right now in more ways than one. It's going to be hot out there fishing, but the actual fishing has been good. And for bait, the best way to catch bait at the pier is to catch live bait using a sabiki rig, dropping it down, catching some cigar minnows or whatever's out there at the pier hanging around those pilings are what the fish are chasing. So that's going to be your main bet. So you can catch cigar minnows, or you can get some frozen bait and all, and sort of what they used to call snobbling is what they used to call it. Just jerking back and forth and making it look alive and all. So the pier's going to be a good bet. I'd go early or I'd go late. I wouldn't go in the middle of the day, but a lot of things are being cut off the pier. So that's our pier report. So let's take our break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. One of the many reasons I love doing Panhandle Outdoors, I think, is because of the variety of people that watch the show. We have folks getting ready to go to work right now. We have folks that are recorded or watching it around dinner time tonight. We have YouTube viewers. We have all ages. We have kids watch it at Merritt Brown and Mowat and Bozeman, and I hear from those kids all the time. We have their parents watching it, and we have their grandparents watching it. So we have all kind of stuff going on. And so I just wanted to. This is really for the grandparents. This little picture right here. Grandparents be like one little snack before you go home. And I think that's what we as grandparents, I'm a grandparent now, and that's a lot of us do that. And you folks that are approaching grandparent age, you'll appreciate that more as you get there. All right, now we have some pictures here. We're going to some fishing pictures. Little Miss Montana Reinhardt, she graduated 2 years ago. Got a big old flounder there and a big old smile to go with it. Good job, Montana. I'm glad you're still fishing, honey. All right, now let's see. I'm going to scoot over here to, we'll skip that one. We'll come back to it. This is Billy Hornsby. This is on July 4th. Billy fishing over in East Bay, right here in the middle of the day, he said. And you look how calm it is. You can tell it's like a midday doldrum right there. It hit that redfish hit right at the boat, he said. Fishing right there, and he got that's a perfect size redfish. Good job, Billy Hornsby. All right, now also kayak fishing. Let's go from East Bay over to West Bay. And this is David Eddins fishing out of his kayak, and that he said they were tearing up the top water. The top water action is a lot of fun. Now this picture, this is from Hernando County, This is a gator sneaking up on a pigeon. This is what you call being unaware of your environment, of your situation. You always want to be aware of it. Now, the end result was not really good for this pigeon because the gator got the upper hand on this, and obviously the gator is very still, and we don't have an action shot on it, but the gator did get that bird there, and obviously you can see the bird. I don't know if you see it on the screen here. The bird looking the opposite way, and you always sort of, as an outdoorsman, you want to sort of know what's going on all around you. I love this picture here. There's two of my former students, two brothers. It reminds me of me and my brother back in the day, going fishing, a big old smile on their face. This is the Marshall boys, Harris Marshall on the left, his brother Brent Marshall, and that is just a huge gag. That's mom is Stacy McCormick Marshall, and the dad is, of course, Scott Marshall, and they went out fishing. Both of these boys go outdoor, and Harris and Brent in the outdoor ed class. Harris the president of outdoor ed, and that's a nice grouper there, boys. I'm really proud of y'all and for doing that. And I like this little saying right here. How about a good memory is one that can remember the day's blessings and forget the day's troubles. That is so true. All right, now let's go to freshwater real quick. A little western coulee. Western fishes and hunts all the time. He's having to work some now, though. A good one up there in the sand hills. All right, I believe that's going to be, that's going to be all my pictures right now. I did want to mention, I mentioned this a couple of times now, this summer weather, these storms coming up. We talked about, we canceled out that trip on Sunday, was a week ago, on the Seminole wind because of the weather. And that's a big, safe boat, but we just canceled it, and I'm glad we did. But more importantly, to you as an outdoorsman, I was talking to Captain Matt Smith the other day, and he's had to call off a couple of inshore trips. And what happened, these storms, we were out scalloping July the 2nd or 3rd, I forget, and we put in, I debated whether I'm a lot closer to the state park, but you used to put in a state park and run over toward Blacks Island. But with a situation like that, I told Chip, let's go ahead and put in at Presnell's, which we did. And we didn't go out very far, went out toward Blacks Island, and that storm blew up. And I'm so glad we were at Presnell's because it was just phenomenal. When we went there, the sun was shining, and within an hour, we had black skies coming in, and this bay kicking up high. And some folks got in trouble. This pontoon boat really got blown around there. People rent these boats and all, and don't have an idea that it can get that bad that fast. I just want you to be aware of it. I talk about it all the time, but it is so important that you know when to get out of the weather. We got back to Presnell just as the storm hit, but we saw it coming. By the time we're all out there scalloping, by the time we all get back on the boat, take everything, put it up and get the anchor up and all, that all takes time. It's not like boom, we out of there. So be aware of that, of the weather, that especially the front end of those thunderstorms. That's where that wind is, that wind shear and all on the front end of that thunderstorm when it's going to be blowing. A lot of times the rain is not as bad as the wind blowing. And we were sitting down the other day. I wish I had a camera on. We were over at Halbert Creek, and a storm coming in like that, and we actually saw the limb come down from a tree right there by our camper. It actually blew down. So it was just as that sheer wind. It was a great learning experience for my granddaughters. We talked about it, and we were up under the pole barn, and we were talking about what was going on. And it's just knowing that weather and being aware of it is so important. A boat sinking. I wrote this down over at Gap Pond. This is interesting. During July 4th, all kinds of things happened, and I hadn't been able to catch up on all of it yet. And this was, let's see, all right, up at Gap Pond, July 4th. I picked this up now. A boat, the father and son was on the boat. There was a miscommunication, and the boat started, and it started in gear, and they stopped it. And when it stopped, all the water came in over the stern, and it sank within 20 seconds in Gap Pond. These guys I got the information from actually went diving and got the boat back up, and they were able to save everything. Nobody was hurt and everything, but it could have been a bad situation. Didn't know how to swim. So make sure when you start these old outboard motors, sometimes you don't want to start it in gear. Most of them nowadays won't start in gear, but some of these others start in gear, and when it starts in gear, boom, it'll take off, and then you stop it, and the water came over the stern, and they said within 20 seconds that boat was underwater. And but anyway, they did save the boat, and they said the motor, they took out the plug, dried them off, and the motor started right back up. That was a good motor. All right, let's go and take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Hope you're in the middle of Shark Week, having a good time and all. It was good. So here we're going to try this. I told Jeff now we're going to try it. We're down at the Cape on the 4th, walking the beach and all. And I actually drove on the beach. We were taking, and there was a big old crowd of folks there, and I knew they were catching big old fish, and I knew a lot of tourists around, and it was right out from the house. So I know the area well, and it's all a couple of people I knew, but it was a big old crowd of people. And I went on and parked on down there, and then my son and Chip and Jill wanted to go down there, and they took their phone and took a picture of a shark, it was called. Now, they brought back the video to me, and I was really surprised. So I've got 2 little short videos. It's going to be technologically challenging to me to get this. So, we're going to try to pick it up and try to run it, and I'm going to sort of walk through it. Oh, good, it's working. All right, now this is a crowd of people. This is not going to last long. And you look down there, and they have caught a shark, and it amazed me. This is middle of the day, folks, the size of this shark, okay? It's working, and look at there. It's a bull shark, and they've caught it. Everybody's clapping because they fought it for a long time. Got it ashore, okay? And these are shark fishermen. They're from out of town. I don't think they're from Tennessee or North Alabama. Okay, so we got that part. Okay, well, it's still. Okay, so it's going to end shortly, and I'm going to have to go to another section. Okay, everybody never seen a shark before. I thought it was perfect during Shark Week here on Cape San Blas. And for that time of day, folks, that's a big shark in the water, right where these swimmers are. Okay, they're going to pose with a picture. And all right, now I'm going to go. All right, Jeff, let's see if I can go to, that was done. Now we're going to try to go to this one here and show they get ready to release it. Now this is what's fascinating about it. Again, this is right in the middle of the day with swimmers and tourists and everybody out there. It's not at night time when you think these big sharks, that's a big shark. I surprised me. I didn't go down there. Let's see if it works this time. Now they're going to release it. Okay. He can't pull it. He got to get some help. All right, so now they pull it out. That'll take a chunk out of your leg. So these boys know what they're doing as far as reviving it. That's Chip's taking this. Jill took the first video. Chip took this video. Look at there. And you hear the crowd. And it swims off. Shark is unharmed. And look at it. That's like the jaws right there. Okay, so good, that did work. All right, that's off the phones and all, and it was fascinating. And what tickled me was that the crowd of people had never seen anything like that. And the other thing that fascinated me was size. In fact, if I known it was going to be that big, I would have gone down there too. But Chip said he was going to go. I thought it was going to be a little shark caught by a tourist, and there's not going to be anything to it. So now this next one, you're going, okay, to appreciate this next video, we're in town, and I saw something. I had to take a double take, and I had to speed through traffic to catch up with it to try to get a video of it. It's not a very good video, but it's something that did you see that? And what it was, you're going to see on the end, there's going to be a boat being towed, okay? But it's behind a camping trailer, which is behind a truck, okay? And then downtown Port St. Joe's, and folks I saw the tags, they were from Tennessee. I don't think this is legal, but I'm going to sort of bear with us on this. And Jill was in the back seat of our truck, had all the kids. We had a truckload of people, and Gail got mad at me because I had to weave through some traffic to get this video, but we still married. So here we go. Okay, look. We're looking at the back window. We got some bushes in the back of the truck. That's a camper right there. There's a boat being towed. Okay, I'm hauling some trash off. So we're not, there's a camper. Look, and here's a truck. The truck's pulling the camper, pulling the boat, and they're from, according to the girls. Okay, so that's illegal. You can't do that. But that was just some raw video of some things happening down at Cape San Blas and St. Joe this week. There was just a huge crowd of people all over the place. I know here, over in 30A, and all people talk about a huge crowd, and it's always like that on July 4th. And I really enjoy these tourists and all, but I always worry about them. I don't worry about them. I always wonder about making sure they're going to be safe enough. And but that you can't take 3 vehicles like that. And that guy I don't know if you saw it, had a little puppy in the front seat with him, and they were just happy as they could be. We waved at them, and the girls waved at them, and everybody was happy. And I got to thinking as I was driving home, and things quieted down a little bit. I got to thinking about the upcoming things we have, here in the Florida Panhandle, the development and all we're going to have coming, and how things are going to be changing within the next years. The West Bay and Walton County corridor with St. Joe and all, and how things are going to change, and how we're going to get more and more people. And I always think back to this picture here of Destin, and I've showed it several times on the show. I'm going to show it to you again because we have new viewers and everything. And this is looking out toward Destin in 1964, taken at Eglin Air Force Base by one of the pilots there in 1964. And then 50 years later, in 2004, they took the same picture. Okay, can you see? Okay, the same angle. Okay, you can see how the development here. We're looking toward the Gulf, and it's just solid. You can see how solid between all the what has happened now, and that's going to happen all along here. All these little sleepy fishing villages like Carabel and East Point and Red Bay and all these places, just going to be wall-to-wall people. So be aware of that. Change is inevitable. It will come, and it was going to. I thought, 30A, I mean, I can remember going on 30A years ago and going surf fishing and looking down and just nobody there. And you can't even go surf fishing hardly on 30A anymore. So as an outdoorsman, it's going to squeeze us into some confined areas. The West Bay fishing will be changed. It's just going to be a lot more crowded. We're a lot more environmentally conscious now in our development, so we're looking forward to that as far as what they're going to do. But it's going to be people. And as long as we don't stack them up in condos, I think we're going to be okay. We'll spread them out in these residential settings and all, but change is coming, and just be aware of it. I got tickled over in Jacksonville on my trip over there, that Davis Ranch. When they had bought 50,000 acres in the middle of nowhere, now they're completely surrounded by Jacksonville Beach, Ponte Vedra, and all that, down to 27,000 acres, but they still have that little chunk. And you get out there, you have no idea that you're around Jacksonville. So that stuff's coming. In fact, I thought of a motto. We have a 30A down in Guff County. I don't know if you know that. And we have a 30A in Walton County. It's different between night and day now. And in fact, I'm going to see, I think you're going to start seeing, I've already thought of a slogan for the people advertising down in Guff County. Come visit the other 30A, because right now it's undeveloped and all. And in fact, we run into all kind of people from Walton County over there in Guff County this time of year because so many people are in their county. So I don't know what's going to happen years later when it's packed out down there where we're going to go. But all these things are coming. So anyway, with all that being said, let's take our break and we'll be right back. Welcome back. Now I wanted to remind you that was exclusive Panhandle Outdoor video provided by Chip and Jill Chester, and we're really tickled to show it. Not on YouTube or anything else. That happened right there. And speaking of Shark Week and all, it's all kinds of things going on. But I want to go into, let's do our fishing game times right now. Brought to us by Mark Coward. Mark's now with Accounts Realty, and our time. We're looking at our time this morning. Let's see, I've got them right over here, and they are right here: 7:12 to 9:12, and this afternoon 7:38 to 9:38. Two excellent times right there. I wanted to talk about also the women's fishing clinic is going to be, I really think it's like an outdoor workshop, but it's going to be held here in Panama City Beach, July the 11th, okay? July the 11th, which is that's this Saturday, wow. And it's a day long from 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. You can register there or online. You need to, you're going to learn knot tying, cast netting, reel rigging, that's why it's not, and also how to, responsible marine habitat and catch and release techniques, all kinds of stuff. If a lady in your family, or it could be I don't know the age, I guess it's 16 and above, it doesn't say, but any lady in the family, it's a great opportunity. It's sponsored by the FWC, and they call it a women's fishing clinic. It really, last year they called it Becoming an Outdoors Woman, and it's the same thing there too. Okay, I did also want to mention, and it doesn't affect us here, that this, well, it does affect us in the Choctawhatchee River, the sturgeon jumping. The little 5-year-old girl lost her life to a sturgeon jumping in the Sewanee River just a couple days ago, and it was a tragedy, and they were close to the boat ramp, and they were headed that way. And in fact, the mom and the brother were both hospitalized. So obviously it was a really big sturgeon that hit them, and it was just, and the biologists say the river is shallower now, low river, they stimulate them to jump more. So be careful on the Choctaw River. You know, we've had it happen here. That's the first recorded fatality, they're telling me, by the research I did on, that's the first recorded fatality in the Suwannee River of a sturgeon jumping like that and having taken someone's life. Now, we haven't had one on the Choctaw River. We've had some serious injuries. In fact, one of my students' little brother was hit a couple of years ago going up the creek off the Suwannee. I mean, off the Choctaw. So be aware of that. It's not, don't live in fear of sturgeon jumping, but knowing if you're going really, really fast on the river, and you can face that. It will happen. It will happen again. Okay. Also, we're going to talk a minute about scallops. Now, I will give you more of a report on tomorrow's fishing report on the scallops and all, but it's really started off really slow during the July 4th holiday weekend. We did not, in fact, personally, this is the worst scalloping I've ever experienced in my 40 plus years of scalloping in St. Joe Bay. Keep in mind, I had some kids with us and all, so we didn't really get into some deeper water like I feel like there's some scallops there if you want to get some deeper water. But we found a few. But man, and I've talked to wildlife officers who's gone with their family and also checked a lot of people. I've talked to people at a state park boat ramp. I've talked to people at Presnell's. And over a period of time, not just a few minutes, over a period of time, and I can come to the conclusion, it is a really poor scallop season. So don't go down there expecting to load the boat up with scallops. You go down there and the idea of having a good time, getting the family out in the water, maybe the kids see starfish and sand dollars and stuff like that, and getting a few scallops. So if you want to email me some of your reports, I'd be glad to share them and all with the rest of the viewers and all. But that's just an account is gone from 22 last year to 11 this year, which is really low. Okay, so with that being known, we're going to have a famous Friday fishing forecast tomorrow. All kind of good things happening. Give away that seafood tomorrow. So today, now you have a great day, and always do something good for your fellow man. And God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.